Nehru and Modi's New India. Welcome, Swagatam, Jai Hind. Gandhi was shot. Nehru cannot be shot because he is no more, and there is no way memory can be shot. But memory can be obliterated. At least it can be cheapened. So, is deleting Nehru a precondition for creating the new India of Modi's dreams? That's by and large the question that we propose to examine in this video. So let's get started. Nehru has become a misfit in the new India of Modi's dreams. Till 2014, we used to speak of the India of our dreams, but no more. We have stopped dreaming and started singing. Now we sing Modi's dreams, and we sing him to divine heights. To the credit of Narendra Modi, it must be said that he dreams big. For that, for those big mega dreams to be realized, Nehru needs to be made small and vile. Make Nehru the embodiment of all the harms and wrongs ever done to India. But for Nehru, well, but for him, India would have been the master of the world. So at least that's how the argument goes. I owe nothing to Nehru. He died before I became politically aware. Apart from reading his discovery of India and the wonderful letters he wrote to Indira Priyadarshini, as well as learning by heart some of his very famous speeches, I know him only as one who loved the children of India and as one who believed that secularism was not exactly a disease. And I feel grateful to him for making the weaker sections as well as religious minorities feel secure in India. I thank him also for believing and insisting that the state should be impartial and the rights and freedoms of citizens should not be determined on the basis of their religious loyalties or identities. My first feeling about the current fashion of Nehru baiting is that we can afford to be a little more grateful. Opinions might vary on whether or not his socialist leanings, his secular disposition, and the license Raj that resulted from his economic policies helped or harmed India. But no one except the willfully malicious will insist that Nehru didn't do his very best for India. At least, I'm totally convinced that the man did his almighty best for the country. It is understandable if Modi wants to be the supreme legend of New India. There is nothing wrong in being ambitious. What makes a person's ambition awkward is how he goes about realizing his dreams. It is illogical to assume that you can make yourself immortal by deleting somebody else before you, as though history began with you. The point is that it won't work. You may try, but it will not work. You don't add to your personal worth by running down your predecessors. You don't add to your height by cutting the legs of those around you. In fact, sensible people will see you in a very negative light if you think that you can project your glory by discrediting everybody else. The good work that a person does gets written in stone. It endures. The passage of time or the calumny of adversaries cannot obliterate it. No one person is the creator of history. All are players in history. As Victor Hugo said about Napoleon, and you can read that in his famous novel, Les Miserables. He said the logic of history will catch you off guard and pitch you headforemost into insignificance. So, in that novel, in the section that Hugo deals with the Battle of Waterloo, Hugo, after a long analysis and unforgettable analysis, comes to a conclusion that Napoleon was not defeated by the British. Napoleon was defeated by history itself. It's a very interesting argument. I have no problem with Modi becoming the supreme hero of our history. Why not? Why shouldn't he aspire to be the absolute legend of the new India? Especially if he fits the bill, if he has the potential to be the supreme, incomparable hero of the history of India. Why not? Well, if he does not have the ability to fit into that shoe, then all the present bother about proving everybody else cheap, wrong, or as inimical to India will eventually be seen as much ado about nothing. In this context, I ask myself a question. Can Modi become the legend of India simply by caricaturing his predecessors like Nehru, Gandhi, etc., but not Gandhi as much as Nehru, and insisting that India woke up from a long, long slumber only after he appeared on the national stage? Let us consider a couple of examples to be clear about this. Alexander the Great did not have to discredit Philip, his father, in order to be proved and accepted as great. Napoleon did not have to discredit his predecessor, Louis XVI, who was overthrown through the French Revolution, to force his people to believe that he was great. People have all but forgotten Philip and Louis XVI, because Alexander and Napoleon were geniuses in themselves. On the contrary, had Alexander and Napoleon spent all their time proving their predecessors worthless, they would have achieved nothing, and they would have been completely buried in history, and we would not have taken their names today or ever. This is the only sensible option, that is, proving yourself great is the only sensible option. Outshine your predecessors by your achievements and your exploits. It is when you have no confidence in your ability to do so that you feel tempted to undermine your predecessors. It is time that Narendra Modi, our beloved Prime Minister, asked as to what constitutes greatness in leaders. If he wants to be great, he must have some idea about what it is that makes a leader great. From what he has revealed so far, Modi's image of personal greatness includes, apart from political exploits and astounding political victories, aided in no small measure by the Election Commission of India, he includes a supernatural dimension derived from religion. So he's not only a political leader, he's also a religious sant, a kind of supreme religious Shankaracharya, so to speak. So he's not only a hero, but also a supernatural hero. That's where religion helps. The moment you put on the garb of religion, you go beyond all criticism and all accountability to human beings. But the problem here is that religion is not only a mythology, but also a moral system. So historians will ask in future times, and that in the immediate future, what moral excellence Modi exemplified as the first Prime Minister of the new India. Not the first Prime Minister of India, but the first Prime Minister of the new India, which is his own creation. I wonder if he pays any heed to this. The Hindu view of life believes in karma. With every choice you make and every deed you do, you add to your karma, for better, for worse. What is the karmic debt Modi is accumulating for himself? Surely from a Hindu perspective, this karmic debt will have to be factored into assessing his greatness. Modi's time could well be running out, as indeed it happens to all human beings. No hero remains forever. Heroes are not diamonds, not even diamonds are forever. It's as a matter of speaking that we say diamonds are forever. So Modi's time could well be running out. I always think of the hourglass when I think of the lifespan of human beings. Every day, a particle of your life is slipping down. A few years this way or that is small change in the eye of history. So it's high time Modi minded these inescapable realities. Now, according to the Greek view of life, the shadow of death rises over you the moment you are born. Therefore, Plato said, all of your life must be a preparation for death. And this particular insight exists also in Hinduism, by the way, and in practically all the spiritual traditions that I am acquainted with. Because Modi projects himself as a spiritual person, it is legitimate to say human greatness in the ultimate analysis will depend not only on what the people around you say about you, but also it will depend also on what you prove to be on the dharmic scales of reality. Ultimately, you will be weighed on a different scale altogether. And that is according to the Hindu belief, which is also relevant to the Christian belief. You'll be weighed on the scales of your dharmic assets, or karmic debt. Soon enough, the curtain will be rung down. The present show will end. The costumes will be taken off, folded, packed, and cast back into the caravan. The caravan will move on. For the next caravan is already well on its way, and you can hear its rumbling around the corner. The words of Horatio in Shakespeare's Hamlet. As he watches his friend Hamlet die, ring loud and clear in my ears. And this is what Horatio said as he watched his friend Hamlet die. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. So, as of now, Modi is on the pinnacle of his popularity and power. But his story will be like all other stories in this one respect, that over the span of life, the shadow of death looms large. That will be Modi's story. It will be my story. It will be your story. It will be our story. Play it. But for God's sake, do not mistake the show of life for the reality of life itself. Life is far different from what it seems when you look at it from a seat of power or from the pinnacle of prosperity and popularity. Life looks altogether different at the next turn of fortune's wheel. That's all. Goodbye. Jai Hind.